his car door opened, and an 8-year-old girl's words froze him in place. Don't trust him. What she revealed next changed everything he thought he knew about loyalty, money, and power. Rain drizzled across the city as Victor Hale, a 48-year-old millionaire CEO of Hale Dynamics, stepped out of the glass tower that bore his name. His day had been filled with board meetings, contract signings, and an upcoming merger that promised to double the company's profits. He prided himself on reading people, spotting talent, and sensing threats before they became problems. But as his black sedan rolled up to the curb, something unexpected happened. When Victor opened the rear passenger door to place his briefcase inside, a soft, urgent voice spoke from behind him. Don't trust him. He froze. Standing near the edge of the parking lot was a young black girl, no older than 8, her small hands gripping a faded pink backpack. She had wide, serious eyes that didn't look away. Her clothes were clean but worn, her shoes scuffed. Rain was dripping from her hair, but she didn't seem to care. Victor's driver, Daniel, glanced at him in confusion. Do you know her, sir? Victor shook his head. No. He stepped closer to the girl. Who are you talking about? Her gaze flickered toward the glass doors of the building. The man you were shaking hands with. He's not your friend. Victor thought of who she meant. Minutes ago, he had been standing beside Martin Cole, the company's CFO. Martin had been with Hale Dynamics for nearly a decade, trusted with sensitive data, financial strategies, and internal audits. The two had been discussing the merger details, and Martin had even congratulated him with a firm handshake before leaving. Why would you say that? Victor asked. The girl looked down. My brother worked for him once. He's gone now. Martin made it happen. The rain seemed colder now. Victor crouched to meet her eyes. Your brother worked for Martin Cole. She nodded slowly. He told the truth about something Martin did at another company. After that, he lost his job. Then he disappeared. No one helped us. My mum cries every night. Victor's first instinct was to dismiss it. Kids repeat things they don't understand. But her voice was too steady, too sure, and she wasn't asking for money or help. She was warning him. What's your name? Victor asked. Alyssa. Where's your mother? She works late. I walk home from school. Daniel shifted uncomfortably by the car. Sir, it's getting late. You have another meeting. Victor stood, looking back at the tall glass building. His gut told him to investigate. If the girl was wrong, no harm done. But if she was right, his company's future, his employees' jobs, and his own reputation were at risk. He reached into his coat pocket, took out a business card, and handed it to her. If you see me again, tell me everything you know about your brother. But stay safe, Alyssa. She took the card without looking at it and turned toward the street. As Victor got into the car, he replayed every recent conversation with Martin in his mind. He thought about the small inconsistencies in financial reports that he had brushed aside, the sudden push from Martin to speed up the merger, and now this warning from a stranger's child. In the meeting that followed, Victor couldn't focus. Instead, he discreetly called the head of internal auditing and ordered a confidential review of Martin Cole's activities over the past 2 years. No public announcements, no confrontations, not yet. By the end of the week, the preliminary findings shook him. Offshore accounts, payments routed through shell companies, financial statements manipulated to hide personal gains from company transactions. Martin had been siphoning funds while presenting, himself as the architect of Hale Dynamics' growth. Victor realized he had been blind to a truth his employees might have seen, but feared to voice. That weekend, he drove back to the same street where he had seen Alyssa. She was sitting on the steps of a small apartment building, her pink backpack beside her. You were right, he said quietly. Her eyes widened. About Martin? Yes. And I need you to tell me everything you know about your brother. She hesitated, then nodded. But you have to promise to listen all the way. Victor sat down on the cold concrete steps, ready to hear her story. What she told him over the next hour would not only expose Martin's corruption but also force Victor to face uncomfortable truths about trust, leadership, and the responsibility of those in power to protect the vulnerable. Victor listened carefully as Alyssa recounted her brother's experience. Her brother had worked at a smaller company that Martin had acquired years earlier. When he discovered discrepancies in the company's accounts, he reported them to Martin, expecting fairness. Instead, Martin had quietly terminated him and spread false claims, making it impossible for him to find another job. Alyssa described the family's struggles since then, the constant fear, the mounting bills, and the uncertainty that hung over them like a cloud. Victor felt a weight he hadn't anticipated. He had seen numbers, reports, and contracts, but he had never seen the human impact of corruption until now. He realized that trust was fragile, and the failure of one powerful person could destroy the lives of many. The following Monday, Victor summoned Martin to his office. The room was tense, the city skyline glowing through the floor-to-ceiling windows. Victor spoke calmly but firmly. "I have been reviewing your recent activities. There are discrepancies that require explanation." Martin laughed nervously. "Victor, you must be mistaken. I've managed every transaction carefully." "You know that." Victor handed over the audit report. "These numbers tell a different story. Offshore accounts, personal gains, manipulated reports. I gave you the benefit of the doubt. I believed in your loyalty. But Alyssa's warning reminded me that appearances are not always reality." Martin's expression changed. The confident smile faltered. He stammered, tried to justify some of the entries, but the evidence was overwhelming. Victor cut the conversation short, informing him that legal proceedings and internal investigations would follow. Over the next few weeks, Victor worked to correct the financial damage. He implemented stricter auditing procedures, accountability checks, and anonymous reporting systems for employees to voice concerns without fear. He personally met with employees affected by Martin's actions and ensured compensation and support for those impacted. Victor also reached out to Alyssa's family. He provided educational support for her brother and assistance to her mother. He realized that responsibility didn't stop at the company's walls. It extended to the communities affected by corporate decisions. In the months that followed, Hale Dynamics began to recover not only financially, but ethically. The incident became a case study within the company, used to train employees on ethics, transparency, and the importance of reporting wrongdoing. Victor often shared the story of Alyssa's courage, emphasizing that even the smallest voices could uncover truth and prevent harm. Alyssa returned to school with renewed confidence, knowing she had made a difference. Victor frequently reminded his leadership team that leadership required vigilance, empathy, and the willingness to act on warnings, no matter how unlikely they seemed. By facing the truth and correcting the wrongdoing, Victor learned several important lessons. Trust must be earned, verified, and continually reassessed. Even the most experienced leaders need input from unexpected sources. Ethical oversight protects both the company and the community. Courageous actions, even from children, can prevent significant harm. Accountability is a responsibility, not an option, for those in power. Victor never forgot the rainy afternoon in the parking lot when Alyssa spoke those 4 words. Don't trust him. They reminded him that awareness and moral responsibility were inseparable from leadership. By listening, investigating, and acting decisively, he ensured that justice and ethical standards were upheld. The story became an educational example, shared in seminars and workshops for business leaders, highlighting the importance of corporate ethics, vigilance against corruption, and the value of paying attention to voices that might otherwise be ignored. Alyssa's warning had saved more than financial resources. It saved trust, integrity, and the lives of those affected by Martin's misconduct. In the end, Victor understood that leadership was not just about profits or deals. It was about protecting people, listening to warnings, and taking responsibility for the impact of one's actions.